conviction, I was convicted 12 times. The conviction, the actual conviction.
Yeah.
But going to prisons, I've been to prisons 52 times. There is no single prison I've never been taken to. The main ones, there is no single prison. I've also been taken to prison in Tanzania, prison in Mozambique, prison in South Africa. Because that other story, kuna other story, which I didn't want to give you, I don't want to give it to you, because it will contradict this one.
Okay.
This one I think is so sweet for you. The convicted of hanging, they say you'll be hanged by rope until you die. Not by anything, not by shot, because there are several convictions that you can be poisoned, you can be injected, you die, you can, they can shoot you. There are many things, there are many forms. They can give set a chemical on you, you die. But the court has to be specific. What will kill you? It is by hanging. So in Kamiti, there is that machine, ya kuhang. It is in Block D. So once the day for you is ready for you to be hanged, they'll go and prepare the machine. And this machine is like, this place, it's like this one. Iko hivi. Ni mabati mbili. Uko juu, sasa unapanda kwa watchtower. Inakaa hivi. Sasa hii ni mabati different na hii ni mabati different. Now what they will do, you will step on this one and this one. Now when they will button the machine, this mabati will open this way. Then you slide in. Unashika, unahang. Now there is a way they will button the machine. Instead the machine, mabati iende hivi, inaenda hivi. So you not hang. Or in a refuse. They are not supposed to button it twice. It's once. You press the button once. You don't do it twice because that's a court order. Once. So you have to respect the court order. So when it refuses to go, they cannot rebutton it. And the judgment was that. So that is the end of your case. You are set free. Yes, there is a commissioner, the police boss. The police boss is there. A representative of the police, a representative from judiciary must be there. A representative from the prisons must be there, and the hangman. And also a bishop, a Catholic father, or a sheikh. They must be there. They have to come and pray for you as you go. And that's one reason that made me to hate Christianity a bit. Then I hated Christianity because the one that came to pray for me is a father. That now he prepared me to die. A bishop, a pastor came to prepare me to die. A sheikh came to prepare me to die. It was so disheartening. Yes, of course, a ruling had been made that I die. A judgment had been made, I die. But these people, I thought they were the one to speak to God and they rescue me. But they never spoke to God. They came to tell me, now you are going home. Painfully, looking at me. And they prayed for me. And then one pastor there asked me whether I have any offering I can give to him before I go. Because he wanted to have my money before I go. Because they knew that I'm rich. So they thought I would tell me, kwenda kwa account yangu, utolewa pesa yangu kwa sababu nimeenda. It was so painful deal. So that's part one of the story. Now let's get into prison. What the time, all the time in prison? How was life? Life was so good. Life was so good. Sometimes I would just come and do something bad so that I'll be taken to prison. Because money, in prison there is money. Those days, those days, I don't know whether nowadays whether there is money, but those days there was money, real money. Because that's where craftiness is. I had a very comfortable life. Kumbuka kutoka nje nimetoka, niko na pesa, niko na members wanakuja kuniona. Members wakikuja kukuona wanakuachianga 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, wanakuachia pesa. Unakuta kwa account yako ya prison uko na shilingi karibu 2,000,000 ziko hapo idle. So askari wa jela wakiona kuna pesa hapo, you become an automatic friend. Because prison orders ni watu wanalipwa vibaya sana. Wanalipangwa shilingi 10,000, 12,000. Na hapo ndio shaa iko. Hapo ndio pay IC1 iko. Hapo ndio housing levy iko. Kila kitu. Unakuta ile mshahara net salary anapatiwa ni 2K. So you find this man is surviving on food from prisoners, on help from prisoners. And now Waruinge has come, na flow ya cash inakuja. So everybody in prison befriended me. So for me to give the money, they have to create a room for me, a specific room, my room. Niletoe mtungi ya gas, niletoe kila kitu. Niletoe mpaka ka fridge na kakitanda kangu. Na mattress itoke nje, blanketi zitoke nje. zikuje nilale vizuri. That is how I used to live.
Former Mungiki founder, Mungiki leader, Ndura Waruinge, has broken his silence on one of the most dramatic moments of his life. The day he was scheduled to be executed by hanging at Kamiti Maximum Security Prison. Speaking about the ordeal, Waruinge described it as one of the most painful and terrifying experiences he has ever endured. According to him, he had already been processed as a condemned prisoner and was fully prepared for what he believed would be his final moments on earth. Waruinge narrated that on that day set for his execution, prison authorities followed the standard procedures for death row inmates. Clergy members were brought in to pray for him, something he says made the situation feel even more final. He recalled how emotionally overwhelming it was when religious leaders began offering prayers, not for survival, but seemingly for his soul's departure. In his words, that moment made the reality of death sink in deeply. He was then led to the execution chamber. Waruinge described the hanging mechanism as a metal platform with iron flaps, where a condemned prisoner stands before the lever is activated. Once triggered, the flaps open and the inmate drops. According to Waruinge, when the execution process was initiated, something unexpected happened. The mechanism malfunctioned. He claims the apparatus failed to operate as intended on the first attempt. Waruinge further alleged that under the court warrant authorizing the execution, officials were only permitted to activate the mechanism once. Because the machine failed during that single authorized attempt, it could not legally be triggered again under the same execution order. That technical failure, he says, effectively nullified the hanging order. Instead of facing death that day, he was returned to his cell. Waruinge explained that although he physically survived, the psychological impact of the experience stayed with him for years. He described living with the trauma of having mentally prepared for death. His story adds to the broader history of capital punishment in Kenya. While the death penalty remains in law for certain offenses, Kenya has not carried out executions for decades, with many sentences later commuted to life imprisonment. Ndura Waruinge was among the prominent figures associated with the rise of the Mungiki sect, a controversial movement that began as a social-cultural group among sections of the Kikuyu community before later being linked to violent activities, extortion, and organized crime. Over the years, the group was outlawed and its leaders faced multiple arrests and prosecutions. Waruinge has previously spoken about surviving shootings, arrests, and alleged attempts on his life. His latest revelation about narrowly escaping execution sheds new light on the intense legal and political battle surrounding the sect during its peak years. Waruinge's account raises questions about Kenya's past use of capital punishment, prison procedures, and how a single procedural technicality can mean the difference between life and death. What are your thoughts on this dramatic turn of events? Write your comment in comment section. This is Sauti Mzalendo News. Stay safe.